Hello, starknet family. Welcome back to the Star Cafe. I'm Nurstar, your personal star barista, and once again, we are ready to serve you with some very special starknet content. So happy Friday to everybody. Today's Star Cafe is gonna gravitate around on-chain gaming and autonomous worlds. Seeing that we have the pleasure to have one of the members of the winning project of the first Dojo Starknet Dojo Jam, which was a sort of hackathon that took place around 10 days ago, where gaming enthusiastic devs gather around to play with the Dojo toolchain, gaming toolchain, and they built some, some demos of some cool games. One of them was zKnight, and they won the first place. So here today we have Chilax that together with other two members, Provable Matt and Balazar, worked on this game that we'll be learning about during this episode. And he'll also tell us a bit about his background, how he ran into Starknet, and also like his overall impressions about the Dojo Jam. And maybe we are also going to have a look at the other games that were experimented over there. But having said that, let's welcome the guest for today. Hello, Chilax. How are you?
Hello, Nurstar. I'm fine, thank you. I hope you are too.
Absolutely, we're doing great, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the
Thank
Star
you.
Cafe. Really looking forward to this episode to learn more about zKnight. And well, we could break the ice by by asking you for some background about yourself, and also how did you run into Starknet, into blockchain as well. I would also like to know if you have on-chain like on-chain gaming or just overall gaming experience, and yeah, and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, my story is pretty classical, I would say. I worked for 7 years as a Web2 developer, already a bit interested in the Web3, but just as a hobby. And I started to work on some little project in other blockchains. That makes me interested in working in this sector. And after during this month of summer, I decided to switch to try to work only on the Web3 part. And my entrance in the Starknet ecosystem is that I met Abdel in a conference in France last year, and he touched me as a very passionate person. So I said that I would look into this ecosystem, and what really made me stay is the spirit of the community, because in the other blockchain I was in, people were kind of keeping stuff to them, not really helping each other. And it's the complete opposite in Starknet, because I always meet just really friendly people and always kind to help you and to share ideas with you. So that's what made me stay, basically. And I really don't regret that point.
That's great, Chila. Was very nice to hear about your background and about the fact that you really like the family feelings that we can hear, on Starknet. That's one of my favorite things. And besides technology itself, the power and the good vibes of the community. And I also wanted to know to tell our audience that we also have the pleasure to host Gabe from Cartridge, who was one of the, Cartridge was one of the organizers of the Dojo Jam, and Gabe, yeah, is from the Cartridge team. And it's very nice to have you here, Gabe. How are you? Welcome to the Star Cafe.
Yeah, morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Gabe. I'm on the Cartridge team. We're one of a number of different groups that have been leading the development of Dojo, and we were stoked to have so many cool entries to the first Dojo Game Jam. So, congrats to zKnight and the rest of the team, Chilax, and everyone. So yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, and yeah, that's that sounds very exciting. And Gabe, would you mind telling us a bit about the Dojo Jam initiative? When did you come out with this idea? How was it structured, and how was it run as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll take the opportunity to briefly go a little bit further back. For those that are unfamiliar with Dojo, Dojo is a game engine for building provable games on starknet using Cairo. And it was really the culmination of the lessons learned from a number of teams that have been attempting to build games on starknet or in the starknet ecosystem even before Cairo 1. So a lot of kind of battle scars from trying to build games in Cairo 0. But that was a really kind of fruitful period of learnings. And so the guys from Brick and from Realms and from Cartridge and a number of other contributors came together and said, hey, let's take this opportunity to standardize the way that we architect games using Cairo 1, and kind of give the whole ecosystem an opportunity to abstract away some of the lower level kind of smart contract architecture, and really kind of enable people to build games that are more robust and to build them more quickly. And so the Dojo initiative started kind of at the turn of this last year, so it's been in development for nearly a year now, and it's finally getting to a place where you can build a game in a couple of days. And so that's really where the idea to host the Dojo Game Jam came from. There's a ton of great contributors in the ecosystem that are excited to build stuff. And so we figured, let's give these teams, the resources that they need and, some fun prize money to get, excited about and host some game jams so that, the ecosystem can all kind of come together and build games. So yeah, that's kind of the long story short.
Amazing, Gabe. Yeah, I was also looking, I was monitoring the promotion about the Dojo Jam, and I also gave a look at the browsing page, of the itch.io. So for the listeners, you can find below this page in the comment section, you will find some useful links, such as one that will direct you to the Dojo Game Jam page on the itch.io platform, where you will find all the details and the rules of the jam. And below, you will also be able to see the submissions. And by clicking on each project, you will also be able to play with these demos as well. And yeah, so in the comment section, you will also find a link to our Star Cafe's episode with Torrents from a cartridge, as well, where you will learn about the fundamentals and the basics of Dojo and the Katana gaming-oriented sequencer. And you'll also find a thread about the zKnight project posted by Chillax. And now it's time to go back to him to know a bit more about zKnight. So Chillax, how did you and the rest of the team come out with this project? And how was your submission to the Dojo Jam? Did you encounter any difficulties, any problems in dealing with Dojo, or also which were the advantages that you noticed by using this gaming engine?
Thank you. So in fact, the idea of zKnight was in fact about two games we like in the team. It's one called Into the Breach. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think it was free on the Epic Game Store not so long ago. And there is another one which is a free online game which is called Hoplite. So in fact, our goal was to implement a simple game because we didn't have much time. And the goal was to, in fact, to have some maps that we generate. And the goal every time is to clear the map. So in fact, you will have your character that you are able to move. And we are going to put enemies on the map, and you have to have some strategy to move on the map and to clear the level without losing so much life, in fact. So there is a leaderboard in place because we wanted to have some feeling of competitiveness between the players. And in fact, you will try to clear as much level as you can. and it helps to improve your score. So that is the basic idea. What can I add about that? Yeah, about the coding experience. In fact, we were really proud of what we could produce during those 3 days. And those would not be possible if Dojo wasn't there, because in fact, Balthazar was responsible for the smart contracts. And in fact, Matthias and me were basically just working on the front end. And I think that Dojo helped us a lot with the architecture and to plug, in fact, the front end with the insane work that Balthazar did. So that is really good. And we have already a very good architecture with the ECS model, which help us, in fact, to keep the code clean on smart contract side and in fact to keep this game really modular and to be able to iterate over this part. About the game jam, what I can say is that it was a bit intense because, in fact, indeed in 3 days it's a lot of work. So basically we were spending almost 16 years a day in the same Discord local, to sharing ideas, to help each other on the problems we had. And to talk a bit more about the front end, so it's basically a React application. At the beginning, we wanted to use a framework called Father, because it was there was in fact a starter project which was created in the Dojo repository. But to us, this was not the best idea, because we started to dig a bit in the documentation. It was not up to date and stuff like that. So in fact, we decided to switch to React Vanilla, and we used a framework called Pixie.js, which, to be honest, helped us a lot to be able to deliver something like that.
Well understood, Chilex. I must say that you did an amazing, remarkable job in only 3 days. And because I played with the game this morning, and it was pretty nice for the listeners. Like you go to app.zKnight, so zk plus night.xyz. And you basically enter your username, like is Nurstar. You click on new game, and you basically be redirected on this platform where there are 4 characters. One is your character, which is the knight. Then we also have a barbarian, a bowman, and a wizard, right? So like this platform is made out of squares, right? And around the main character, so around your main character, there are like three squares that gets colored every time you move, right? And if I'm right, in like these 3 colored squares are the squares where you can move to, and also from there you can attack the other opponents if they're within reach, right?
Indeed. This is a reveal you just did, because in fact we just kept this link like really private until now. But anyway, we decided to share it today, so that's cool. And something I just wanted to add is, indeed, you're doing right by explaining the rules, because we saw that people did not get it as easily as we thought. So we are still working on improvements. Basically, there is a rule model which will come very soon, and we have some problems too, just to notice the users. In fact, it's working well on EU people which are in Europe, because our servers are in Netherlands right now. But we have some problems with people which are in the US, for example, and in Asia. So it's something that we have in mind. We really want to improve it ASAP, but we don't have the solution right now. But we are every day right now working on this project to improve it and to make it more usable to everyone.
Fair enough. Yeah, even though it is a demo version and you just opened it to the public this morning, it is pretty easy and intuitive to play with. I'm also not a navigated like a very experienced gamer, so it means that the UX is not that bad. And yeah, as I was saying, you click on these colored squares, and then you click on your, for example, you click on the square you want to go to, and then you click on your character, and your character will move to that square. In the same time, also the opponents will make moves, and if they're within reach, you'll be able to shoot them, basically, to attack them. And yeah, this is more or less a short explanation of zKnight. And right now, I would also like to shout out to some friends in the room. I see Nacion Bankless, Secretive from Loot3 Arms, Calcutat as well from Loot3 Arms, Leo from starknet Chinese community, Paul from the starknet Africa community, Exodus, Something, Kodawari, Milan, Milati, and Julian. So thanks a lot for being here, guys. And well, I would like to go back to Gabe, and I wanted to ask you, Gabe, if we could have a short overview of the other projects that took part in the Dojo game. So I see here Beer Baron, Ash Dungeon, Chess Cell, Oxfaida, Starknopoly, Not Roll Your Own in Dojo, Dojo World, and Ape Slots. Could you make some comments on some of them? It must not be about all of them, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think for the first Dojo Game Jam, which was kind of our first pass at this, we were excited. I think there were just shy of 100 participants, and just shy of 10 games that submitted. I think I won't go through all of these. Let's see. I'm looking at this list right now. I love the concept for Beer Baron. My understanding of the full concept is it's kind of like a marketplace game where you as a monk are like harvesting resources, and then there's kind of a like arbitrage. You're like buying and selling beer, and basically creating like an economy around it. And I think that like I'm like looking at the interface right now, and I know who made this game. I think it's so great. I think it like I think without kind of going too deep into like any of the individual games, I'll just say that like there's like this whole new frontier of the types of games that are possible to make, that are provable, that are fully on chain. And I think it's cool to see kind of all these games that were submitted really cover like a broad spectrum of what's possible, right? So zKnight is, and I'm sitting here as we're like on the Twitter Spaces playing it, like a cool kind of small board game where you're kind of like interacting with other, NPC enemies here, and you're trying to understand what their moves are and the limitations of their moves. And it's a much more kind of like single session type game that feels a little bit like chess. Versus a game like Beer Baron, which is kind of this like open economy where you're kind of coming up with a higher level strategy to really figure out like what resources you want to invest in and how to deploy them. So I just think it's cool when, we do this first game jam. There are 10 games that are submitted, and they're all so different, in completely different genres of games. Beer Baron being much more of kind of like a strategy and economy type game. Let me see. Let's look at the rest of this list. I don't know. Chilax, did you have any other favorites from the game jam, or were you guys just focused on zKnight?
To be honest, we were focused on zKnight, and we had a bit of pressure when we saw that the king of Dojo was submitting a game, because indeed it's an insane job he did, and yeah, to us it was the real contender, to be honest.
Well, he and I had discussed it like previously, and he said from the beginning that he wouldn't allow the judges to pick his game. So he really wanted to just kind of participate in the game jam to continue to dog food the technology, and to because he likes making games. So
that's very fun. Yeah, I suppose that the Lord of Dojo that you're talking about is Love from Loot3 Arms. Am I right?
yeah, that's right.
Or maybe he wanted to stay undercover, but it's not the case because I remember him posting it, so it's not a problem. And yeah, then we have other games that there's a game that it resembles a sort of a slot machine, and then yeah, there are like a sort of Monopoly, you know, and other interesting experimentations. But yeah, there was a very interesting overview of the Dojo Jam, and we are already looking forward to the next one. Can we expect something similar, or even a second edition of the Dojo Starknet Jam soon? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, version 3 of Dojo is going to be ready soon, and the team has been working on a bunch of really cool tooling that we're excited about. And really the kind of like whole idea as we continue to iterate on these game jams. And by the way, no official date yet, but the next one will probably be taking place in mid-October. Is that every time we do a game jam, we want it to be easier and easier for people to build games on chain. So I won't say too much about the new features because there'll be an announcement pretty soon about them. But the team has been working on a lot of cool tooling to be able to kind of deploy stuff directly from the command line. We think it's going to make building games a lot easier. So come October, the second game jam will be around, and yeah, we're already looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
Amazing! Can't wait for that. And Chillax, what about zKnight? Are you planning to bring, to continue developing on this game, or it will be just an experimentation?
No, we saw that the community received very well what we did. So our goal now is to deploy this on testnet, because at the moment, in fact, to make the game playable for everyone, we deployed some Dojo functionality like a katana and a tori on a server we have. And the goal now is to implement it on testnet, on testnet, in fact, with the help of a cartridge. And this doesn't stop there, because with the RainDAO, we got a grant too, and we will develop another on-chain game, which is basically a Risk-like gameplay. So we are starting to build it right now, and in fact, our goal is just to build kind of a game studio and to be one of the first to work on stuff like that, beside talented people like Cartridge and Realm Lords, and all those people are very inspiring to us. So we just want to keep working on their steps.
That's very promising, Silax, and really looking forward to seeing how you will develop zKnight further. And congratulations for the grant, and I wish you all the best to you and the rest of the team for the near future. I'm sure you will be doing great things. And as we are coming to the end of this Star Cafe Light Edition, to close this week, I wanted to remind you that Cartridge and Topology and other teams are hosting the on-chain gaming meetup in New York during the IT Global New York week. That is gonna take place next week, and next Tuesday there will be this on-chain gaming meetup. So if you're enthusiastic about on-chain gaming, are you in New York? Make sure to attend this meetup. It's gonna take place, from 5 p.m. till 9, and it also involves a sort of play testing session as well. So it really looks very fun. And yeah, so make sure to attend it. And for those devs who would like to attend the New York hackathon, be sure to apply for the Starknet track if you would like to experiment with Starknet and with Cairo, and be able to win from a 10K prize pool. And last but not least, there will also be the Stark New York conference. That is gonna take place on the 21st, which is on Thursday. So the next week is gonna be very intense in New York, and we are going to start peel the Big Apple. and there's also going to be interesting gaming initiatives. And I also would like to close it this final part by inviting all of you to the next episode of Star Cafe, which is also going to be about autonomous worlds and on-chain gaming, as we are hosting Ben Jov from WASD. WASD is a media outlet that focuses on on-chain gaming and autonomous worlds that are being deployed on the layer 2s. So make sure to attend this session, as Ben is a very experienced writer, former Bankless, now he's doing his own thing, and is very talented, very knowledgeable about the on-chain field. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from him about his starknet gaming views. So make sure not to miss that episode. And yeah, I would like to say thank you to all the audience for being here today, to all of our friends, and obviously also to our guests. Thanks a lot, Gabe, and thanks a lot to Chillax.
Thanks a lot, everyone. And thanks, Nostra, for having me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting this. This was a lot of fun. I'll just say that if you're going to be in New York next week and you're interested in joining us for the on-chain gaming meetup, feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to help you kind of coordinate and find the venue and all that. So
that's great, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Looking forward to having you back in the near future. And having said that, it's now time to close the Star Cafe. Make sure to share the starknet vibe, and see you the next time. Cheers, guys. Have a nice weekend.
cheers. Thanks all.
Cheers.
Cheers. Goodbye.
Bye.